It's a social pressure, right? Every time you
Yeah.
join a meeting, if someone else has their camera on, then you've got to follow suit. Okay, cool. Let's crack on. So I think everybody knows, at least in the Top Dog community, that we're trying to do more regular workshops. The first workshop we carried out was based around photo editing, so how to get the most out of having the sort of Photoshop and the layered art files for your top dogs and your top cats. The second one was around how to use a liquidity pool and how to swap out your NFTs for other NFTs that are similar to yours. And then now today we've got the third workshop, which is all about security and keeping your crypto, your NFTs, and essentially your wallets, the keys to your kingdom, secure. And it's been a long time coming. I think myself and Ledger has been speaking for a while through Parker, who we met on the Defiant, I think like 3 months ago now. And really just been trying to align all of our diaries and stuff. But I'm pleased to welcome the Ledger team, and I'll ask you guys to introduce yourselves shortly. But for the Top Dog community, obviously everybody knows me as Paul, the co-founder. But before my life, before dogs, before NFTs, before crypto, I was actually a hacker. So I was on the right side of the law. So I'm what was known as a white hat hacker. I used to work for a law firm, using my sort of skills and my knowledge, I guess, for the greater good. Never for illegal purposes. Let me to make sure that's clear. And it was really protecting company systems of FTSE 100s, which is a stock exchange in London, and Fortune 500s, and basically all big companies around the world, and protecting the reputations of individuals and families from the latest sort of cyber threats. So this is pretty much my world before Top Dog. So I thought it would be a great workshop to have for us. I'm just going to pass over to Ledger. I know we've got Mo, to sort of introduce yourselves. I'm not sure if Cyril on the lead. I think we've got Cyril as well.
Yeah, we've got Cyril as well. Parker will join at some point, but he has a packed schedule. So yeah, regarding me, so I'm Mo. I'm the community and content lead at Ledger. My job is to make sure that you folks have the right information and knowledge, as well as the right tools in order to safely navigate the space. So I work on a variety of different projects with Cyril, who's on the call as well, and Ariel. We have a platform, an educational platform that's called the Ledger Academy. So on it, you can find, different articles and videos and tutorials about everything related to hardware wallet security, as well as anything related to Web3, blockchains, crypto tokens, and so on. We also have a YouTube
Oh,
show.
sorry, I'm not sure if it's you, but there's some background noise coming from somewhere. It sounds like a TV or something.
Oh, that's not me.
If okay, sorry. If anybody's not speaking, can you just mute yourselves, please?
Oh, it's gone.
Sorry, Mo, go ahead.
No worries. So yeah, what I was saying is that, our approach to education is just to make sure that the space isn't as intimidating as it used to be. So we try and, making sure that we develop a variety of different content. Some of it for newbies, some of it for more intermediate people. So we have a TV show called Down the Rabbit Hole. We also work on a YouTube show called School of Block. And we have a podcast. So yeah, just a variety of different content to make sure that you guys have the knowledge that's necessary for you to, enjoy the Web3 experience and safely navigate it.
Yeah, and that's the thing about this space, isn't it? It's so new, and people are still learning and understanding, myself included, and scammers and hackers are essentially in their force trying to take full advantage of that. But I think the aim of today is really to just give you an understanding of what's out there, like what scams are happening right now, what are people falling for, where people have tripped up, and then really, I guess, analyzing those and understanding how we can not fall for the same scams and how we can just up our security. And that comes in a variety of different ways, which we'll cover, I guess, throughout the workshop. One of them is going to be, I guess, increasing your physical security. So perhaps using a hardware wallet like Ledger, which we'll come on to, but also just stopping and thinking about, like, just what am I actually doing? I'm clicking this link, I'm giving away my seed phrase. Perhaps I shouldn't do that. We'll come on to that. But what I want to do is sort of just have a look at what's actually happening out there now. So how are people getting scammed? And if you think about sort of crypto, generally, the great thing about crypto is that you are your own custodian, you are your own bank, you own the keys to your own kingdom, and that's brilliant because you're not held by a central bank or a government or whatever. You can do whatever you want with your assets. Of course, it comes with the cons. If you think about a traditional bank, and if you were scammed and you sent money where you weren't supposed to send money, usually your bank can sort of reverse that or refund you, or you have insurance to sort of cover that loss. But with crypto, if you are scammed, if you are scammed and you send money or your NFTs or assets to somewhere else, it is irreversible. You've got no recourse there. They're pretty much gone. So it's really, really important that you own your own security and you understand about these scams and how you can best protect yourself. There actually are, I don't know if any are live, but they're definitely coming through that I'm seeing, what's called crypto insurance. So you can take out a policy to protect your assets, whether it's ETH, NFTs, and if you are, I'm not sure on the wording, I don't know if you get scammed and then you can claim on your policy, but at least if you get hacked of some sort, then there's a potential recourse through insurance there, which is really interesting. And I think we'll definitely start seeing more of that over the coming years. So yeah, I mean, these two tweets, I think the first one on the left is pretty much sums it up, right? Fuck. I think that's the first feeling and one of the emotions of anger you go through. I don't know if anybody on it has been scammed. Thankfully, I haven't. I know a few people in our Top Dog community have been scammed of their dogs. So I sort of know secondhand how that feels. But to sum it up on a tweet, I think that one pretty much does a good job on the left there. And if you think about it, like we are all emotional creatures. We're all humans, and at the end of the day, we're going to make mistakes. We wouldn't be human if we didn't make these mistakes. And when our emotions are high, or when we're stressed, or when we're not particularly paying attention, or when we're busy, that's when, I guess, scams and hacks are more likely to happen. They know this and they take advantage of this. Essentially, security it's a human problem, and it's playing on human emotions. When I was working in security, we'd usually have these assignments of trying to physically break into offices. We'd obviously have the approval of the CEO or the COO or something like that. And a usual tactic we would take is we would, somebody on the team was a female member, and we'd make it out so she looked pregnant, would give her a fake bump, and she's on the phone, so she's sort of rushing around, the phone to her ear, she's maybe eating a banana, she's pretending to be on the phone to a babysitter or childcare or something like that, and just like she looks really stressed and she's just almost to tears, and she's at the front of the office and she's like patting her jacket, trying to get in. Oh, where's my key card? I can't find my key card. And then because we're good people generally and we're good Samaritans, they're like, oh, let me let you in, tap you in, off you go, you're in the office. And now as soon as you're in an office, it's pretty much game over generally. There's so much confidential information in an office. And that's essentially what scammers and hackers are playing on. It's our emotions. And we'll come back to that towards the end. But in these two instances, so on the left, Jeff, you can see the date there actually, August 24th, he was scammed, I think, $420,000 of apes and cool cats. And then the tweet on the right, I don't know if you can see the date at the bottom, it's actually less than 24 hours after. Somebody else got scammed by the same scam, stole all of these apes, One Forces, World Women, which is over $1 million. Like that, I don't know what, I literally don't know what I would do if that happened. That's just a lot of money, right? It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, people are getting scammed out there, and these people are, I think they would classify themselves as not newbies, like that they are generally clued up and generally are aware of the types of scams that happen. But it's more because they said so in a later tweet, actually, is because they were just stressed, in a hurry, tried to do something and they weren't particularly paying attention. So last night, actually, what I did was try to get scammed myself. So I'm in the OpenSea Discord, and to be fair, that's where a lot of scams come from and a lot of scams start. And the top left message there, I literally just put in the support or the general channel, can somebody from the team please DM me, everyone needs some support? And then literally minutes later, I'd get a friend request from Brian. Obviously, you can sort of see the green tick, which all the OpenSea team have in their username. It says OpenSea at the end. It's got the OpenSea logo. Okay, fine. It looks legit. Look at his profile. About me. We've got OpenSea support. Fine. Okay. It's good. OpenSea are on it and they want to help me. All good, right? I'm sure we've received similar DMs. And then we start to have this conversation, and he asked me, you know, what can I do to help? And it's actually all quite professional. I didn't really get any, I guess, inklings that something was wrong. Normally there's bad spelling or there's bad grammar, or especially some of these scammers, they're maybe from a country that's English isn't their first language. So you can usually tell that something's not particularly right, especially because OpenSea are a company in the US and all their support staff is in the US. But this message was like, it was pretty much perfect, apart from, I think, one reply. He goes, "Sorry, mate." I don't think OpenSea support are talking like that. But essentially, we build up this rapport, and he tells me to go to this website, which I'm going to bring up now. Actually, just give me 1 second and click on the link. I'm gonna do what I tell people never to do, and click on a link. So smartdappsvalidation.net. It's gonna be interesting. Validation. Can't spell. So I'm actually on my Mac. I think it's smartdappsvalidation.net. It's been taken offline already. There we go. I'm just gonna extend that in. So this is just a website pretending to be Wallet Connect, which is a popular wallet connecting service. I'm sure you would have seen it on websites when connecting your wallet. And this is really basic, actually. I was expecting to get a link pretending to be OpenSea's website or a clone of OpenSea, but this is what I got. And essentially his narrative and story was, we're having problems with our Wallet Connect service. That's why I couldn't log. My issue was I couldn't log into my account. And he says, yes, we're having issues with our linking service. Please go to this website and link your wallet that way. Of course, they've got all the popular wallets, and you click on one, and then it asks for the thing that you should never ever do, and it's putting in your seed phrase, uploading your key store JSON file, or typing in your private key. Obviously, never ever 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 do those in any circumstances. I just thought it was interesting to go from me asking the support to ending up here. So if we just go back for a second. So the one back to our original tweet, the one on the right actually got scammed in a very similar situation. So I was asking for support on OpenSea, and they got one of these DMs, but they got sent to a different website. sorry, they didn't get sent to a different website. The OpenSea support guy said, "Can you share your screen with me, please?" So of course, the person obliged, and he just wanted to get the issue sorted, so they screen shared. And he said in a follow-up tweet, like he was quite wary of. He obviously knew not to give passwords away, not to give private keys away, and he knew this. What he didn't know was about this QR code. So the screenshot on here at the minute is if you go into your MetaMask wallet and you click on account details, you get this QR code. Now that QR code is essentially your private key. So one of the scammers just asked him, "Oh, can we just check a setting in your MetaMask?" The person getting scammed knew just checking a setting is not going to expose anything. You can't view your private key in there. And through there, he basically flashed up the QR code on his screen for a second. They screenshotted it, and that was it. It was game over. They had access to his whole wallet. So if anybody sees his QR code, they've got full access to your wallet. So just be really, really careful and just basically don't. If anyone OpenSea support or anybody from any project is asking you to screen share, just don't do it. And protect that QR code with your life, I guess. Yeah, Zulf. Yeah, I know. It's scary stuff, right?
I actually think they've removed that one after Jeff's scam and Sorod. Because
Yeah,
it was an attack vector that was just so critical that they had to do something about it.
yeah, they've now put it behind another screen. So I think you have to actually click into it, click reveal or something.
Yeah.
But it's actually really good of MetaMask support to do that. I think it just shows that this space is so new and it's changing all the time and it's evolving, and that's why these scams are so ripe, is because we're basically back like in the late 90s, early 2000s of the internet days, where scams and hacks were happening all the time and they were just easy. Like these days, it's generally hard to get hacked or scammed outside of crypto. Sort of another scam that we're seeing is phishing scams. Like these are ripe, not even related to crypto. Phishing happens all the time. And again, back in my old job, phishing would be the #1 way to get into a company. And you just need to build up a sort of a story or a narrative and tag on a sense of urgency or action that's needed. And 9 times out of 10, you can, if you're targeting a company with 1,000, 5,000 people, you'll be guaranteed to get access, because there's always going to be one person that falls for it. And we used to call it the human firewall. So if you think about IT and cybersecurity, you have all these sort of fancy AI, machine learning, security tools and hardware firewalls that costs thousands, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands. But at the end of the day, like humans, employees are your weakest link. So all it takes is one person to click a link or to give a password away or to send a confidential document somewhere, and that's pretty much it. So phishing is, I'm actually quite surprised. We've not really seen too much. It's definitely happening, but I think it's the next evolution. At the minute, it's quite, I guess, immature and quite in its infancy. The scams, it's literally sending a DM on Discord or a DM on Twitter, but will progress to these really, I guess, legitimate looking phishing emails. So the one on the screen right now, I'm sure if anyone's a collector or if anyone's even a creator and they sell an item on OpenSea, this is like the best email you could ever receive. Like, your item sold, awesome, made some money, made some dollar. But there's actually it's a phishing email. So imagine if you have an ape in your wallet and the floor price is 30 ETH, and then this particular ape, you've listed it for 80 ETH. But for some reason, the email is saying you sold it for 8.6. So you look at the email and you panic. You go, "Oh my God, what the hell? How the hell have I sold this ape for like 8.6 ETH? What the hell?" What's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to click on the view item link, right? of course, is a phishing email. So it's going to go to what looks like a legitimate OpenSea page showing your ape and everything looks good. And then it's asking you to log in with your wallet. Fine, log in with your wallet, and then it's asking you to do an approval or something. You need to approve your tokens for spending or something like that. And again, you're in a panic. You're just like, what the hell's going on? You just click yes, 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 fine, whatever. Next minute, you know, everything's gone from your wallet. Your actual ape's gone. Everything's gone. So it's just being wary of email scams, of phishing scams, especially ones that are portraying to be OpenSea. There's different things you can do to look out for those particular scams. Usually, obviously the from address is a giveaway, but that can be spoofed. The best thing to do is if you get an email like this and you're thinking to yourself, hang on, I didn't list this, or hang on, that price isn't right, or something isn't quite right, just go directly to OpenSea.io. Just don't click on the link in the email, but go direct from a bookmark that you have or that you use every day or something like that. I think this is quite unusual because for it to happen, the attacker or the scammer is going to need your wallet address and your email address, and they're quite hard to pair together. But in the normal world outside of crypto, the security breaches happen all the time where information is leaked. And I'm going to bet it's a matter of time that OpenSea or another big marketplace, we've seen it already with exchanges. Exchanges have been hacked and exchanges have leaked information. It's going to happen. It's guaranteed. OpenSea will get a hack at some point, and some information will get released where it has your wallet, your email address, and then hackers will use that information against you. Just be wary, I suppose. And I mentioned there before approval scams. So I don't know if anybody here has sold anything on OpenSea or swapped assets on Uniswap or anything like that. I'm sure, like before you start doing that, you'll get. It's a bit annoying because you have to do on OpenSea. I'm talking about you have to do 3 transactions. So the first time you have to initialize your wallet, which is a transaction cost gas. The second time you want to sell from a collection, you have to approve the collection, and then the third action is actually listing the item. So it can be a bit annoying. But the middle step there, approving, is what can catch people out. So if we just have a look at, how am I going to do this? I've got a weird setup going on right now because I'm on my Mac, remote desktop into my computer. I'm just going to get rid of that. Okay, so I have this Gutter Dog in my wallet. It's owned by me. If I wanted to sell this, obviously I'm going to click sell. 69 ETH. And this is what I was talking about. So OpenSea is going to ask me to approve the token for spending. So what this means is that obviously I own the Gutter Dog token in my wallet, but I want to sell it on OpenSea. So OpenSea need to essentially get permission to do that. So I need to grant them permission to access my NFT. And I do that by sending a blockchain transaction. It's going to cost me $16 in gas. And it's this function here, so set approval for all. Now this is interesting because the set approval for all function, it behind the scenes, what it does is it will allow OpenSea to spend, even though I'm listing this one Gutter Dog, so number 775, behind the scenes, it allows OpenSea to spend all of my Gutter Dogs, which is important. So keep that in mind because it's really important to know. I'm going to cancel that for now. So the way people can get scammed is if you're on a new website. Maybe I can show you our Top Dog one. I think it's offline now, isn't it? The Portalizer. Here it is. Okay. So if you're going to a new website and it's asking you to, I don't know, okay, let's say you want to mint a new token, and I think this might happen for, at least it's going to happen because it's so right. I think about like, how would I scam people, or hacker mindset, not that I'm scamming people, but to protect myself. And one thing that I can see happening is there's this really hyped up new mint, new drop. Everything looks legit. The art looks insane. It's got good names behind it. But essentially it's a rug pull, and they ask you to go to the website, they ask you to mint, and then there's 2 transactions, which you seem a bit odd, but you're so hyped, you just go for it. The first one is an approval. The second one is a mint. And we actually did this, if anybody's in the Top Dog community, for ourselves. So if you wanted to portalize a dog, so if you wanted to burn one of your dog NFTs, and in exchange you got a Top Dog tag, the first step you had to do was approve the portalizer contract, the Top Dog portal contract, to spend your Top Dog tokens. So if you think about like a dodgy website, they could also do the same. They could ask you to approve any of your tokens for spending, and then they can essentially do whatever they want with them. So really, it's just being, I suppose, wary and careful about what you're approving in your wallet. If anything is asking you to approve anything, just take a step back and just go, does this make sense? Like if you're minting, you should never ever really need to approve anything. And there's actually
really loving how you're laying that out, actually, because this is something we're working on, especially with blind signing. We also have Hugo on the call. He hasn't said anything yet, but he's the expert of Ledger Live and the kind of my tech counterpart. He's been working a lot on blind signing, so I think his input also would be interesting on this. But yeah, very interesting. Love how you're laying that out. Most of the scams, it's super interesting for everyone to, be able to spot the red flags, because once you can spot the red flags, then the experience becomes much more safe, and you'll have peace of mind at the end of the day if you know how to spot them. So
yeah, exactly. I just want to quickly show you guys actually. So I love these. Etherscan is the best website ever. So Etherscan added a new tool called token approvals. So if you pop your wallet address in there, I'm in a sandbox here. My wallet. If I take my wallet address, it will basically give you a list of all tokens you've approved contracts to spend. Now mine's pretty boring. So I've got the Wyvern token transfer, which is OpenSea, can spend an unlimited amount of my WF. I've got Uniswap spending an unlimited amount of my Engine coin, my Graph coins, my Link coins, my Top Dog liquidity pool tokens, my Snacks tokens. So Uniswap can spend my Snacks. And then this one, I looked at it yesterday and I actually had no idea what this is. I was like, hang on a minute, what the hell is this? It's SushiSwap's contract, so it's absolutely fine. But it's just it's worth just checking. So going to Etherscan, going to tools, token approvals, and just popping your wallet addressing and just seeing what contracts have access to spend what. And then if you spot something that you're not using anymore, or if you want to just revoke it, there's a button here to do that. So you just have to connect your wallet first. Obviously Etherscan is legit, so you can connect your wallet safely. And then you click on the revoke button. Of course, it's a transaction on the blockchain. It's going to cost gas. It sucks, but if you don't know what it is, or if you don't need it, I'd definitely recommend just checking that, and maybe even going through it like once a month or something, just setting up a routine reminder to do it. Maybe even more regularly if you're more active in trading on your wallet. But you might see like I don't know, a contract that doesn't quite make sense in there, especially if you can spend an unlimited amount. what would if you have a more active wallet, what it's going to give you is a risk exposure score up here. I have nothing in there a minute because I don't have any of these assets in that wallet. But if I had 10,000 Graph or 10,000 Eng in my wallet, it'd say my risk exposure is that, because if Uniswap gets hacked or their contract gets taken over or whatever, or if they turn into bad actors, I'm sure they're not going to, then I could potentially lose my Graph and Engen because their contract is approved to spend my tokens. It's really good just to do some housekeeping regularly and just check out that tool. And like I said, like this space is so new and there's everything's changing so quickly. I want to see, and it's on my list as well personally, to build out more tools like this, like more tools that help us step up our security. So if we, what time are we on? Okay, we're 30 minutes in. So what I'm going to do is just sort of wrap it up. So there, I mean, what can we do? It all sounds quite scary, isn't it? Like clicking a link and you can lose all millions of assets. It's very, very scary. But there's really, really simple, basic things we can do, and we know them already. Like we do know them, and it comes back to just what I said at the beginning of sometimes we're on a bad day or we're really stressed, we're not quite paying attention. But yeah, they're simple things. There's a saying in cybersecurity, and it falls to this as well. It's trust, but verify. So generally be trusting of people, otherwise you're not going to function in society. Like if you don't trust people by their word or whatever. But if it's asking you to take any action or if asking you to do anything, verify who they are. There's always good rules of thumbs, and that is just if you get
you're okay.
If you get sent a link in a DM, just don't click it. Just don't even bother, especially if it's pretending to be OpenSea or be a team member of a high-profile project. Like I'm a collector myself, and I'm in many discords, so many discords, and I generally can't remember one instance of a team saying we will DM you first. Like it's a blanket rule of not any team will DM you first. So if that happens, just ignore it. Just don't even entertain it. Just ignore it. And just be wary of connecting your wallets to unknown websites. If you get a bit of a gut feeling like, oh, this isn't quite right, but you really want to mint something, and because you don't want to miss out on an opportunity, that's okay. Just be a bit wary. My rule of thumb is just create a new wallet. It literally takes you 10 seconds to create a new wallet. In MetaMask, you can just go to account details, create new. That's it. You've got a new wallet. Of course, you need to transfer some funds to that wallet, but again, it can take you less than a minute or two, especially if you don't want to miss an opportunity, but you want to be safe and secure. Create a new wallet. If that wallet gets compromised, it's not at least it's not your primary wallet. It's not got all your assets in. The good old saying of it's true, if it's too good to be true, then it probably is. Like if you're getting, there's a lot of scams going around at the minute, like Cool Cats or Dead Fellas or Ghosts or whatever are doing another second stealth drop. And it's going to be like cheap. It's going to be 0.01 or something ridiculous when the floor price is there's like 10x. It's too good to be true. It's a scam. Don't fall for it. And then just I get back to what I was saying at the beginning again, like hackers and scammers will rely on us just being in a bit of a panic, or we need some urgent support, or we're having a bad day. Like again, just go with your gut. If something didn't feel quite right, just stop, just take a second, just breathe and just think about, like, okay, what am I actually doing? Should I be doing this? No. Can it wait until tomorrow? Is it really life and death? Can I actually take some time to verify what website I'm clicking on, who I'm talking to, or whatever is legit? Yeah, just take a step back, I guess, and just verify what you're doing. Which brings me nicely onto my last point, Mo, and potentially upgrading the security with a hardware wallet such as Ledger.
Yes.
And I'll sort of let you just take it from there if you want to talk about Ledger or.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, maybe I can give a quick overview about Ledger and then let Hugo take it from there.
Sure.
Ledger is we do hardware wallets. So basically we manufacture a device that enables you to secure your private keys, because your assets, your digital assets, are always stored on the blockchain. What you own is basically a private key that is connected to a public key or various public keys. So basically, if I can provide you with an analogy, the public key would be kind of like the mailbox. Anyone can, send you a letter, and the private key is the only key that can open this mailbox. So as long as you can protect your private key in a secure device, you have access to your digital assets, whether it be NFTs, crypto tokens, or coins. If you lose this private key, or if your private key gets compromised, this is when situation starts getting critical. So at Ledger, we have a hardware component to the solution, but we also have the software component to the solution, which is Ledger Live. So this would be kind of be like the app store to your iPhone. So through the Ledger Live application that comes with the Ledger with the hardware wallet, you have a variety of different services that enable you to manage, buy, sell, grow your assets from within the security of the Ledger ecosystem. And yeah, that's pretty much what we do. I think Hugo can take it from there and maybe go dive a little bit deeper into how we manufacture resilient hardware wallets and what our vision is with regards to the development of this ecosystem, especially the Ledger Live, which is leading, to enable people to clear sign, because we mentioned blind signing, to enable people to clear sign and interact with decentralized applications without necessarily exposing themselves to critical threats.
Sure. So first, I think I'll take this opportunity to quickly introduce myself. My name is Hugo Morosini. Currently, I work as the Ledger Live tech lead. So Ledger Live, I think I'm going to give just a quick introduction to what is Ledger Live, and then I'll focus mainly, I think, on the hardware wallet subject. Ledger Live is pretty much the companion app that come with your hardware wallet, that help you to manage it, to interact with it directly, to install some apps on it, because as we are going to see, Ledger hardware wallets can't do a lot of stuff out of the box. They are mostly platforms, and it's up to you to install the logic that you want to use. It could be the Bitcoin logic, the Ethereum logic, the password manager logic. Those devices are pretty much extensible, and they can do pretty much what you want them to do. So first thing first, that presentation was very nice. Actually, I think it's the best collection of social engineering scams I've ever seen so far. I knew some of them I didn't, some of them I suspected they would exist at some point. I think the main thing we want to remember here is that we are going to discover new kind of attacks every day. And we are going to, once everybody knows them, of course, they are going to stop working. But the thing is that there will always be a new one. Blockchain is wild. It's huge. There's so many people, and as you said earlier as well, I believe it's pretty much a double-edged blade, since it's very powerful. It gets you in true control of your assets without any custodian. But also, it means that if you mess up, then you're on your own as well. No banker to call, no one to help you. I mean, some people are going to try to help you, but most of the time they would just want to even screw more with you. It's dangerous world out there. So our approach is kind of easy to understand. We like to divide the attack vectors into two different big family. There is one family that we could call the software attacks, which are like the actual hackers, malwares, viruses, the actual moments where you are getting in trouble because of the technical implementation of your wallet, your exchange. Most of the time, you almost can't do anything. It's just that the product that you are using has flaws, and some attackers are going to try to exploit them at some point. And then the other families that was mostly described in that presentation is what we could call the social engineering attack vectors. And for this one, there's not a lot we can do beside educating the users. That's pretty much the only thing that you can do. Everyone can use crypto nowadays, getting easier and easier every day. Like for some of you, if you were there a few years before, it was very hard. Today it's getting easier and easier. MetaMask is quite easy. You can just create an account. You can use an exchange to buy some crypto, transfer it to MetaMask, and boom, you can buy NFTs. It's getting very fast. But I think the general knowledge doesn't really scale with that. There is so many users that have no idea of what it's doing underneath. And yeah, it's pretty much the ideal target, I think, for most attackers. So regarding the first category, what we call the software hacks, this is where the hardware wallets really come in handy. It was pretty much demonstrated earlier with MetaMask, but on the blockchain level, the way you're actually having impacts on the blockchain is by signing transaction. A transaction can be, okay, I want to send some ETH to that person. I want to transfer that NFT to that person. I want to sell it. I want to buy it. Everything on the Ethereum network go through a transaction process. And this transaction has to be signed with your private key, which means that anyone that has your private key can actually sign a transaction on your behalf and potentially steal all of your stuff. So MetaMask is the entity signing the transaction for you. And so MetaMask needs at some point to load that private key in your computer's memory to process your transaction and to cryptographically sign it with your private key, which means that de facto, by design, the private key has to be exposed at some point. It has to be stored somewhere because MetaMask is not going to ask you to input your private key or your private seed all the time. So it has to be stored somewhere. Most likely it's going to be on your hard drive. It's going to be encrypted, but we have demonstrated a lot of time before that it's quite easy actually to get back the encrypted private key from your hard drive and just to brute force it, trying an infinite amount of password combination. So this is where the hardware wallets pretty much make a lot of sense. Hardware wallets, if I have to describe it the way it works technically, it's quite simple. Those are very small computers. They have, as we can see all in the picture, they have the form factor of a USB key, but they are not. They are very small computer. They have a processor. They have a screen. They have two buttons that lets you interact with it. We can't really see it on the screen, but they are on the top, so below the two index of the person using it. And the way they are going to work, and for instance, they can work with MetaMask. Instead of having MetaMask signing your transaction, MetaMask is going to delegate the whole process to the hardware wallets through USB. So the DApp, OpenSea, I don't know, is going to request for a signature. Is going to go to MetaMask. MetaMask is going to forward the signature request to the device. The device is going to analyze it. It's going to show it on the screen, which is why it's called a secure display, trusted display. And then you actually get to confirm or to reject the signature. But what's really great to understand here is that the private key never leaves the device. It's the hardware wallet, which is a small computer that is going to perform the signature. So the private key never goes into your computer's memory. So it doesn't matter how corrupt your computer can be, if you have malwares, if it's outdated, it's never going to matter a lot, because at the end of the day, the private key is never leaving the hardware wallet. And this is one of the most important things to understand. Okay, this being said, just probably take care of the software attack, like the proper hacking. What's really important to understand is that Ledger hardware wallets are using very common electronic component, which is called a secure element. It's something that you guys don't know, but you're already using them daily. It's what you can find on your credit card, on your biometric passport. Basically, it's a small processor with some storage and some memory that is designed to keep a secret. It's everything it can do. And the whole point is that no one to this day was able to extract any data from a secure element. And at Ledger, we are using exactly those components to secure your private keys, so they never get out. And even if your ledger gets physically compromised, if someone steals it from you, they won't be able to extract the private key. At least everything in security is a matter of time and money. We are trying daily to break into a ledger, even though we build them. So far, we can't. We are doing the same with all the other wallets, software wallets, hardware wallets as well. It's something that we do internally. We constantly challenge security of all the security products on the crypto market. So then the other angle of attack is the psychological one. As you said before, it's the social engineering one. And on this one, I mean, we are doing everything we can to help you. Ledger Live is a product that is mostly made to give the user some insight, to give him some boundaries, and to make sure that he's not going to be tempted to go in the wrong direction. But at the end of the day, there is no other solution than pedagogy. Educating user is what's really important. I think a very great job was done here before we started talking about all the hacks. A very general motto is if something is too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. People are going to play with your emotions. They are going to make you panic to make sure that you don't have time to think. Usually, if you don't do anything, anything can happen. So before panicking and taking measures, try to make sure that what you're doing is right, pretty much. So I don't know if it answers some question you had. If you have any question, I'm here to answer them as well.
Yeah, and simply we'll just open up the floor, I guess, and just have 10 minutes for a Q&A if anyone has any questions. I know people in the Top Dog community have won hardware wallets from Ledger. So I don't know if anyone has any questions around that, or if anyone's having issues setting them up, or just generally more about security. Just feel free to unmute yourselves and ask away, or just type into the chat and I can read it out.
Hi guys, I got a question if possible.
Sure.
So just obviously a USB device, etc. Thinking about how I currently operate, which is I use my corporate laptop and my real life day job to go ahead and do my trading and my activity on OpenSea, etc. Connecting something USB wise, I assume it's on my company policy. Can they block certain things in terms of that? Would Ledger typically fall into something that a firewall that's on a corporate laptop would block, or does it? Have you had examples where it works, etc.?
It's a good question. I mean, from my side, when we used to implement security policies for businesses, we usually say block anything that's not a keyboard or a mouse. So Ledger would fall under that. I imagine Ledger sort of shows itself to the computer as almost a USB memory drive. Is that right, or is it?
No, not really. I know it looks a lot like a memory drive. It really has nothing to do. It's not a storage device. You can store. You can put your folders.
No, I know, but in terms of the USB host, that's how it presents itself. So I guess that's not.
Honestly, if your company has a firewall, I think it's more going to be a whitelist than a blacklist. So they must have that whitelist concept with all the stuff that they want. There is an infinite amount of potential USB device with different functionality and IDs. There is an ID system, a vendor ID with a USB product. So I guess they just have a whitelist, and everything that's in the whitelist can be used. Everything that's not cannot be used. I don't think they are doing like technical analysis on what you plug. It's just if it's on the list, it can get in. If it's not, then ask for it. Maybe you should contact your network administrator. I don't know who manages that in your company, but to try to add it to the whitelist if it makes sense. But yeah, I don't really have any other input on that.
I mean, I think it's even good practice just not even plug it into a work laptop entirely. Just keep it separate and keep it personal.
Yeah, probably stop being stingy and buy a personal laptop. Probably better route.
Yeah, I mean, you're most likely breaking company policy.
Yeah, probably. Trading and work hours probably not encouraged, but no, good answer. Thank you, guys.
Any more? I'm sort of 50 minutes in, so
I'll go for one more question then if
Sure.
if no one else is piping up. So in terms of having a hardware wallet, and I know you mentioned like storage, you're not actually necessarily, people talk about hot and cold wallets and things like that, and storing different NFTs, for example, in different locations. In terms of when a project, for example, does a snapshot of assets that individuals have in their wallets, does utilizing a ledger impact that in any way?
no.
No, not at all. It's not like with exchanges. It's a real Ethereum address. It's a real Ethereum wallet. So no one can see a difference between an Ethereum wallet that is on a ledger or on a MetaMask. It's exactly the same interface. It's an Ethereum address. It's a private key. Works exactly the same.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cool. I mean, I'm happy to wrap it up there. 53 minutes. Gonna go get some lunch. I can smell lunch cooking. If nobody else has any questions, Hansel, I saw you unmute yourself.
Hello,
Hi.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, so I have a question. So whenever I connect my MetaMask to my ledger, it shows that I have lots of empty accounts with the balance of 0 each. So are all these accounts mine? Can I transfer my coins to any of these accounts?
Yeah. So actually, yes, but also no. The way we can derivate a seed, like your 24-word seed into accounts. Actually, there is an infinite amount of possible accounts. They are all here.
Okay.
It's all deterministic. I can take your seed and then going to derivate it to the first account, then to the second, and I can do it with a million accounts if I want. And the only way, so you don't really create an account. All the accounts are already there, but the way it works when we are doing what we call account scanning is that we are going to check your first account. We're going to look, okay, does this account have some transaction history? Is it used? Then if it's the case, we're going to check the second one, etc. But I think MetaMask doesn't really do that. So they just show you a list of empty accounts. But yeah, it doesn't really matter as long as your first account is probably the one you are using daily. But
Okay.
That's it.
So this shows like the first time that I have over 300 to 400 accounts. So there are like 10 pages of accounts, which each page like 10, 20 accounts for each page. I was really wondering if these all accounts are mine or somebody else's. So if I transfer my coins to somebody else's account, then it would be impossible to retrieve. So that's
they are all
why
yours. They are all yours. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cool. Okay. I mean, this, like I said at the beginning, we recorded this, so it's going to be available in our workshop area as well. Hugo, Mo, thank you very much for your time. It was very, very interesting.
Thank you for hosting us. It was great, and thank you for your presentation. As Hugo said, it was pretty impressive. It's good to see that someone's actually compiling a lot of these social engineering scams and hacks, and I hope that the efforts that we're all putting in would, put a stop to that. So thanks again, and yeah, let's do this again sometime soon if you wish.
Yeah, I mean, what we're looking to do in the Top Dog community is expand out of just our little project bubble as a collection and just give more value back to the NFT space as a whole. And one of those ideas is almost having like the Wikipedia of NFTs. Does that make sense? So how do I set up a wallet? What is a wallet? How do I transfer money in there? How do I keep myself secure and that kind of thing? Hopefully this is the start of that, and we can start collaborating further.
love that. And we can definitely contribute with some of the content we have on Ledger Academy. So let me know if you want us to
Yeah.
contribute anyway. We'll gladly do that.
Yeah, the Academy's awesome. I didn't realize you had a TV show though, so I need to go check that out.
Yeah, it's called Down the Rabbit Hole, available on YouTube. So yeah, feel free to check that out and yeah, provide us with feedback. We're all ears.
I'll check it out. Thank you, guys.
Thanks a lot. See ya.
Thank you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a good day. Bye.